Big Bear was down about 5% yesterday. It is up about 25% in the last month, and it's also up over 120% in the last 6 months. So this stock at the moment looks as if it's taking a break, pulling back to $6, and there may be an entry there if you want to trade this stock back up to that level of around 860. So in this video, I'm going to conduct a price analysis for BIGBEAR.AI stock and offer my thoughts and opinions on whether you should buy this stock. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of BIGBEAR.AI stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. On the weekly chart for BIGBEAR.AI, we can see since the start of 2025, this stock has offered some volatility for trading, but overall on the weekly chart, we can see this stock is trending up. From the price peak in February this year, we can see that price topped out at around about $10.41. Now from that time, it was sold off. There were a number of bearish weeks as the sellers took control and Big Bear was sold off, eventually finding support at this key level down here of $2.30. Now that was the turning point for Big Bear back in April of this year. Now since April, Big Bear has been trending up. It did take off and we had a number of weeks up. Eventually, in June this year, Big Bear did break out. It pushed up from around about $3.75, broke through this level of $4.80, and then pushed up to hit resistance around about $6. The week after, there was more buying interest. It did gap up. Buyers came back in, they liked $6, they bought up the stock, and eventually over the next 2 weeks, it did top out at around $8.80. So Big Bear looks as if now it has created this level of resistance around about $8.80. And we can see that since that initial peak back in July, sellers took control. It was sold off over a number of weeks. Eventually it found support at this level here around about 460, 470. The buyers came back in and it took off once again. The last 2 weeks, so last week and the week before, we can see some more bullish price action, especially in the week commencing September the 15th. Big green bar up here for Big Bear. Before, there was more buying last week, but you can see, if I zoom in, we can see clearly last week, the buying did run out and sellers took control last week. It was traded up to create this high of, let's see, 848. So it just fell short of this level here. But you can see now, Big Bear's tried twice to break through this level here. It tried once back here, fell short there, tried again, got close, got sold off, and now last week it tried again. But the sellers were too strong at this level. It opened last week around 680, traded up to this peak here, but eventually closed for the week just under the open. So lots of selling pressure around this point here. Now, yesterday, just 1 day's trading, we can see currently we've got an inside bar on the weekly chart. But if I zoom out on the weekly chart, you can see overall we've got these 2 troughs which have formed for Big Bear, showing key support at $2.30 and also this level here around $4.80. Now with those 2 troughs, you can draw a trend line just illustrating that overall on the weekly chart, price is trending up over the medium term for Big Bear. Looking a bit closer on the daily chart for Big Bear. So we can see this trend line still in place. We can see those 2 troughs. Now, since this point here, there's been a number of bullish buying days for this trending stock. So you can see here, since September, buyers came in strongly. There was a number of green bars. The stock trended all the way up over around about 6 to 8 days and created that peak there. Now, since that time, it has been sold off, number of red bearish days. And last week, you can see here, Friday was a bearish day, and yesterday was also bearish for Big Bear. So the risk now, based on the price action of the last few trading sessions, is that Big Bear is at risk of falling further. You can see we've had 2 bearish days over yesterday and Friday. So it does look as if now there is a strong possibility that Big Bear is going to fall further and it's going to trade into $6 support. And you can see that on 2 occasions it has reversed at $6. So back in July 2025 and also during August. So both occasions it did fall into support and it did reverse from there. Buyers did like the price around $6. So if you're looking to get into Big Bear, one option is to think about a $6 entry and then trade it back up to this possible resistance of around about 860, 880. And that would correspond to the medium-term trend line. So effectively, if I use my trend arrow here, we've got support at the trend line here, 470. It's traded up. It's now coming back to retrace, to test possibly this level here of $6. Now, it could fall further. If it falls through 6, then the most likely level then is going to be this level here. That would be quite bearish. If it falls through 6, then we need it to stop before this line here. We want it to stop around about 550 if this medium trend is going to continue and it's going to possibly move back up to this area here. The best case scenario this week is that it does fall in and find support at 6. And then after that time, it then starts to trade back up into this zone up here and potentially trades back up to these peaks here and has another attempt at breaking this level of resistance around about 880. So if you wanted to take this higher risk short-term trade for BIGBEAR.AI stock, you could consider entering at $6 support and trade the reversal. That would give you potentially an upside around about 40%, 40 to 50, depending on where you take your take profit target. If you target the peak here at around about 850, that's about 41%. You can see here it has fallen short a few times at this level here, so it's probably wise to put your take profit, just under these peaks here, so it's got a good chance of breaking that level, and then you can exit the trade. Of course, if it breaks through this key level and keeps going, there's more profit available. But we know there is strong resistance there, so we should expect it to slow down and possibly reverse back down. However, at some point, it's going to break through this key level and move higher once the buyers are committed. And if it does that, then obviously the next level up here is going to be $10. So you could stay with the trade if you are confident that the buyers are in control. It all depends on how the price action unfolds once it gets close to that level of 860, 880. So an entry around $6 with a 20% stop loss, targeting that level up here, about 850. You've got about a risk to reward of 2, which is acceptable. But of course, this is a high risk trade. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Probably, 5% of your capital could be allocated, to this trade in terms of risk management. This company is not profitable yet, so just be mindful of that as you consider buying or trading this stock. So overall, BIGBEAR.AI is trending up. It does look as if over time this stock does want to move higher. It's still in the high risk category, it's still a speculative stock, but it's worth your attention for a small percentage of your portfolio if you want to trade this stock. As I mentioned, Possibly an entry at $6, trading it up to around $8.50 could be a short-term trade. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you bullish on Big Bear? Have you traded this stock recently? Perhaps you're holding it longer term. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.